Good morning, guys. I'm on my way to Chicago to work on Work and Worth, which is a new mini course I'm doing. I'm not sure if I've shared it yet by the point that this video is going live, but I'm so excited to go work with Meghan, my curriculum designer, to help me make it a reality. Hey guys, so now I am working on the Work and Worth mini course with my curriculum designer, Meghan Malloy.
Hi.
So Meg has actually helped me with Life with Intention online and doing that course because there's so much content there, and you helped me wrangle it all in and do it in a digestible way. And now I'm here again because I want to do the same thing again with Work and Worth. So tell us about your, why are you the person to help me with the curriculum design?
Yeah, so I started out working on curriculums for high school and college students. So I learned a lot about how to kind of design curriculum and work on that. And this content really resonates with me, so I was really excited about sorting through it all with you and just kind of working on it together and learning more, and it's been really fascinating for me and exciting.
Yes, and now we're talking about Work and Worth. So when you guys see this come out in April, you'll know where it all began with Meghan. So we are now done with day one. We've gotten day one done of the lectures for Work and Worth. Now we're walking to Joy's Noodles, which is the best noodle place ever.
And we went there when we were working on
we did.
Intention online.
We did. I have to say, of all the places that have Thai in Austin, and where else have I been? At Ann Arbor, not the same. Joy's totally rocks. And actually, I'm going to show you some kind of favorite places because we're actually in my old haunt. This is where I used to live in Chicago as well. So if you look over here, that place that is black and red is Matisse. This used to be my old Trader Joe's. So for you guys that remember me from the business coaching days, I always used to do this thing called Business in the City. And do you know about that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so I used to coach people for free as a way of giving back to the community at this place called Next Door, which I'm going to show you right here. It's this red and blue space. Oh, this is crazy.
Bringing me back.
Bringing me back. Here's where it all happened. So once upon a time, you would actually see Business in the City on that wall. It was a good time. So glad that I did it. Now let's go get that noodle.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just finished up working with Meghan. We've got day one and day two planned. Now I'm gonna go walk, since it's so nice out, to my favorite spots on Sheridan, which is right here, and show you where I lived all of those 7 years in Chicago. Let's go. Okay guys, so this is where it all began. Let's see if I can show this. This is the first apartment building that I lived in, but it was not the nicest place, to be honest. Don't want to offend anyone that's going into the building, but at the time that I was living here, it was not very nice, but it had a lot of character. It was cute, and I made the best of it. I think it was 350 square feet. I was very sad when we moved in. You know, it's very humble beginnings, but at the same time, I loved the area that I lived in, and I'm so grateful that I got to start my little business and my career, essentially, in this little place. It taught me a lot, and I always remembered that I always took care of these places, even these studio apartments that were not nearly what I wanted to have, as if they were the place that I deeply wanted to have and live in. Because I just I guess I had that practice and all is coming attitude back then, that by taking care of the little things, bigger things would come, and that has kind of happened over the years. So it's kind of fun to be back and show you guys my roots and where I came from, and yeah, the studio apartment where it all began. Okay, so behind me here in this building, right behind me, is where I lived the 3rd, 4th, and 5th years of living in Chicago. I lived in a few different apartments in that building, including one with my college boyfriend, which, for those who remember the breakup that I had and the ego and intuition stories, that's where that building was. It's basically right across from over here. That building behind me, that way is the first place I lived. So we just moved across the street, but I'll show you guys those more in depth. But I'll say that was the place where the ego and intuition in terms of my work was realized and figured out. I'd read about it a lot online, or online on books and stuff like that, talking about what is really real and important, but I don't know, it didn't really sink in until I was in a situation for several months where I was going through a breakup and unable to afford breaking the lease. So we stayed together throughout that whole time that we were waiting for the lease to end so we could go on our own ways. And it was a really challenging period, but ultimately really good, because now I understand the power of the intuition and ego so well, and I'm able to use it in so many other areas of my life. So definitely a learning experience there, and something I'll never forget. I also lived there on my own for a year or two, and then with Mr. Lively before we got married and moved to the third spot on this little Chicago tour. Now we are at the final place that I lived in Chicago. Those brown brick apartments are where Mr. Lively and I moved in together when we got married. Considering, you know, I started with $700 in the bank account for my jewelry business in college, and then just decided to move here and say, you know what, I think this is gonna work out, and it did. Here we are. We're at Lake Michigan. For anyone who may not know, this is one of the Great Lakes. It's very serene today. And there's downtown Chicago. Such a beautiful day for February. This is crazy. And this is Belmont Harbor over here. There's no boats right now, but this was one of my favorite places to go walk Franklin and just spend a lot of years running up here. Good times. It's kind of weird to be back. Yeah, it's kind of like feeling all the feels. This is the second time I've been back to Chicago since the breakup. So I actually went right after Mr. Lively left. I came to Chicago because I didn't want to be left alone, like left behind, if you will. So I decided to go have a trip of my own. So we both had new adventures to have right in the beginning, especially, which I think was a really good thing. And so it was fun to come back to my roots here then, and it's fun to be back now. And yeah, who knows where I'm going to be next.